Beach TV.
Good morning, and we're down here on Surfers Paradise Beach with the Anzac Memorial here on Anzac Day 2012. I'm Melanie, and you're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach.
What does Anzac Day mean to you?
Well, let's hope that the experience that we had, I hope to never see it again.
What does Anzac Day mean to you?
Oh well, it's meaningful because our freedom, the fact that you can stand there with our clothes on and we can all do whatever we like today, is because of some men and women some time ago who did stuff that we wouldn't want to do.
To me, it means all the boys from World War I that were in Gallipoli. I think where Australia became a nation. I think we became fantastic that day. So,
what does Anzac Day mean to you?
I think it's a showing of respect for the warriors that have fallen. I don't think anyone really wants to glamorise war, but certainly I think it's a massive accolade, to those that have voluntarily placed their lives in harm's way for the service and compassion of others.
Anzac Day means to me it's about all the old diggers who fought back in the First World War.
God bless them.
Who basically put their lives at risk for all the rest of us.
I was on the ferry in Sydney Harbour with Japanese folk. And I was in Borneo when the atomic bomb was dropped on Japan.
The federal government recently conducted a $370,000 survey that suggests Anzac Day memorials are offensive to the multicultural community. How do you feel about that?
Tell them to piss off.
How do you feel about this?
I'd love that $370,000 to be spent on something productive and useful. I'd love that $370,000 to be spent on, some of these kids' education and teaching them how to play music or teaching them to read and write better. We embrace our multicultural community. I do, and most people I know do. We don't have to do surveys and shred money for something as insignificant as that. I mean, even if it's $3.70, it still doesn't matter. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really don't agree with people that squanderous waste.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's a stupid study. I think it's a waste of money, and if you're going to live here, well, you should be able to accept that,
Yes. How do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous to spend $370,000 on a survey about a public holiday, which is going to happen anyway.
Exactly.
And not only that, the public holiday celebrates that, the sacrifices and all that sort of stuff the soldiers have made to the country, but...
A bit offensive, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. How do you feel about that?
At the end of the day, this is Australia, and I mean, even as a Brit, I know that Australia needs to protect its heritage, and if people really want to come into this country, then they should abide by our heritage and not try and superimpose theirs on us.
How do you feel about that?
That tears my heart out. Yeah.
Bullshit. They shouldn't even spend the money on the study. That's ridiculous.
How do you feel about that?
I think if anybody doesn't like Anzac Day, they're not Australian, so should leave. And we should give more money to our memorials to build, because this is where we were founded on, our country.
So the money should have been spent on memorials rather than the...
Everything should go to the memorials, yeah. What's offensive about Anzac Day, really?
Yeah?
What is it? Seriously. It's about all the old guys who fought back in the First World War. There's nothing offensive about it. If half these multicultural people who think it's offensive, if they were fighting as well, some of them might have been. I'm not too sure, I wasn't there, but I'm sorry, but you start with the multicultural shit, man, it doesn't roll with me, because if they start trying to talk shit about it, it's all about the people that were there.
And then were in the South China Sea when the ship in front of us, one man, he jumped overboard and started to swim away from the convoy, and it was very dangerous because if there'd been any Japanese submarines about, we would have been swimming in the bottom of the ocean now.
Do you have a message you'd like to pass on to Canberra about this political correctness?
Get rid of Julia Gillard.
Pull your head in, maybe.
So is there anything you'd like to say to Canberra about that topic?
You waste money and you're a bunch of fools.
Stop shredding our money. Because who's going to pay it back?
That's right.
You, me, you, this little fella. This little fella here. Anyone who wants to pick up a shovel or a pen, we're going to pay it back.
Yeah.
Whether it's now, tomorrow, next week, next month, next decade, doesn't matter. You know, yeah.
That's right.
It hurts me.
Great.
It hurts me.
So do you have a message you'd like to pass on to Canberra about that study?
Yeah, definitely not something that needs to be done. I mean, it's a part of Australian culture and Australian history, and we don't need a study into why we shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff.
I just think that we should be spending our money smartly rather than what we like in terms of we're spending our money on things like surveys and all that sort of stuff when we already know that this should be celebrated. It's an Anzac, a New Zealand holiday, and that's how it should be.
Well, you know, I think it's something that should be embraced. If you want to be Australian, you know, I'm originally from the UK, if you want to be Australian, this is an Australian day, you get amongst it, you get involved, and you be a part of it, and you be proud of what it is.
Yes, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
God bless them.
We only had one meal a day. They couldn't feed us. And one meal a day, and that was breakfast time.
Aussie Beach TV.
I think sometimes that politicians probably need to do their job better so that Australian men and women don't have to go to war. I don't think we should decry the women and men in service colours just because they are at war. I think we should actually put more pressure on our politicians to make sure we don't have to.
Yeah. How do you feel about these wars that are going on?
Well, I don't like it too much because a lot of these wars have been started by America. And to be quite honest, it has nothing to do with us, and it's just America trying to promote their power.
I think that we should honour our warriors. We go into battle, into conflict, you know, on the behest of politicians and kings, and sometimes we rely on them to get it right, and most of the time they get it wrong through aspects of pride or greed or the lack of ability to communicate. And if they did their diplomacy properly, then there would be no wars.
So how do you feel about these wars at the moment?
Well, I think that they shouldn't be happening. There should be world peace.
Yeah. How do you feel about the wars that Australia is currently involved in?
In the Middle East, how do I feel about the wars? Well, fundamentally, we're there because the politicians want to secure the oil. You know, but you know what? I think the troops do a great job.
How do you feel about those wars at the moment?
It's hard to know. I guess the media don't really tell us everything that we need to know, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Everyone should be free. What can I say?
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Do Did you or do you plan to take a moment to remember the fallen soldiers today?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, a couple of my mates that died in Afghanistan. I've taken a moment to feel for them, my grandfather, everybody that I know that have served, and everyone that is serving, everyone should take a moment for, whether they're dead or they're alive.
God bless them.
I pulled my eyes out at the last post at dawn service this morning. I do it every year, always.
Did you or do you plan to take a moment to remember our fallen soldiers today?
Absolutely, I already have, and after my last run I will do again.
I have all day. I've been up since 4:30 and I will be here till 4:30 again. So.
Oh yes. Well, I've done 5 services today. I started at 3 a.m. and I've done so for about the last 35 years.
It's fantastic.
Yes. And it's my small contribution. It's nothing compared to what other men and women have sacrificed.
God bless them.
But it's the little bit I can do to show my respect and gratitude to some of the men and women upstairs and some of the poor old fellas here that are still hobbling around. Yeah, but as far as taking a moment goes, I like tradition, you know?
Yeah.
We got to have some tradition.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of tradition. We're Anzac days. And now they're all going to go and get some rums into them, maybe have a few beers. And I like that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Play 2 up. Fall asleep under the tree. It doesn't matter. That's fantastic.
Perfect.
It's a traditional day for us. Let's get on it and have some fun. I can't drink today because I'm working, but I embrace what everyone gets up to this afternoon. I think it's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you or do you plan to make a moment today to remember your fallen soldiers?
Yeah, I've already done that.
Yeah?
Dawn service all the way.
Fantastic. And it was a good service?
Great service.
And now, we don't celebrate anything quite like this in the UK, and I think it's really something else, really something special. It's great to see that the public have the day off and they can get together and really celebrate what the troops did for us, past and present. You know, my hat goes off to them. It's something I couldn't do, so it's something that I really appreciate. So here's to the boys.
God bless them.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. Yeah.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach
Aussie
TV.
Beach TV, that's the one.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. That was great.
Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. The hottest girls you will ever see. Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching